Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I was at a funeral of a close relative and watching from afar when we laid him to rest. And I looked at the crowds and the graves and the body as it was lowered and looked at the skies. I realized that we are not laying the person to rest. It is a body that is being given back to the earth from where it came. As for the person, that individual was nothing to do with this body. That individual is something else, maybe from another place or from no place. In this vastness of universe, emerged in a body momentarily. The body interacted with other bodies. It interacted with the climate. It interacted with hunger. It interacted with the environment, with the animals. The body fed itself. The body shed its load. The body grew. The body became old. It lost its agility. It became frail. It was no longer able to host the guest that was occupying the body. The body shut down. The host bade farewell to the guest. The guest left. The body was given back to the earth, returned to dust, from where it will become nutritious food for the growth of another body that will be occupied by another guest. The one inside that body or accompanying the body was not the body. However, we always associated that person with the body, to the extent that we will go to the grave again and we will salute that person thinking that the person here is here, not knowing that the body which was the host is here and maybe no longer here. The person has gone. As far as the person was concerned, we don't know much about that person, the real identity of the person. The only thing we know about the person is the bodily identity of the person. And that is so fixed within our minds that the bodily identity of the person will never be lost. And there is no way out of it because we don't understand the person for what the person was. But the person has become associated with the body. We know now that the features of the body have gone. So now the vague recollections of that person are not in terms of the features, but of their character, of their personality. This is the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that we are bodily identified. We identify ourselves and others with the body. And that's why we become enslaved within the bodies. And that is why the bodily influences us. We need to understand that we are not the bodies. The bodies are arbitrary to what we really are. The bodies are here to allow us to experience the world and whatever the world has to offer through other bodies, through its opportunities, through its failures, through its defeats, through its gains. But we are neither the gains, nor the losses, nor the victories, nor the failures. For us, these states are alien states. These are bodily states. We are merely here to experience. So now, if we can revert into ourselves and remind ourselves that everything about us that we assume is us is not us, the whole false identity breaks. With the breaking of the false identity, maybe we can arrive at a state of wakefulness. So we can see that we are not the facial beauty that preoccupies us. These are different vessels. If a person takes birth in a pleasing figure, then that is only there in order for us to experience how it feels. If a person awakens in a bodily composition that is not as comfortable to their souls as the other one, then they should understand that this is not them. They are not ugly. They are not beautiful. It's the body that is attributed with ugliness and the body that is attributed with beauty. It is not the person. It should not determine how the person is. In fact, if we can look at each other in that way, we will not then value each other in terms of the bodily beauty and bodily ugliness, but we would be able to look deep and see what is evolving within. Similarly, if we can understand that ethnicities are not us, then we will arrive at a state beyond the enslaved state in which we are. If we can understand that we are not even genders, and it doesn't take too much of a reflection to understand this. The fact that we can change our genders shows that we are not genders. We are not cultures, but we need to ascend a level beyond it. We need to understand that we are not even our likes and dislikes. These are bodily likes and bodily dislikes. We are a grade above these likes and dislikes. These are bodily imposed upon us. And if we can go a stage beyond and see that we are not even the religions of our birth, nor the religions of our choosing, what we will find is a process of inner liberation taking place. That false identity of the body will fade away. And with that, the bodily will fade away. Now, as that begins to happen, we will find that our interaction from the body and the bodily will not be as they are today. There will be more comfortable interactions because we will know that there is a distance between us and the bodily. So this exercise is needed, that we begin to understand that we are not body and we are not the bodily. If we can extend it further, then we will see that the paradise that we are yearning is nothing but a bodily paradise. Just imagine how immersed we are within the body and the bodily, that the paradise we yearn for is again a bodily paradise. Whereas if we can conclude that we are not the body or the bodily, then the paradise that we yearn for will immediately be beyond the body. We can bring to mind the statement of the Blessed Imam Ali Salamullah Ali, in which he states that I do not worship my God like a businessman in order to gain paradise. I worship my God because He is worthy of worship and because I see Him worthy of worship. Or we can remind ourselves of the statement of Avicenna, Abu Ali Sina, in which he states that odd is the state of the faithful who has turned ends into means and means into ends. God, who was the end, has been made a means to get into paradise. The faithful devotes himself or herself to God in order to attain paradise. Whereas paradise was the incentive to get to God. How strange is it that we are fully governed by this body identity and we are not the bodies. If we can rid ourselves of the body, we will know that we are the creators of paradise itself. And just think about this as a faithful. We belong to a God, according to us, who, without a second thought, created an infinite universe, the five-dimensional universe. Beyond it, God knows Himself what is there. And the only thing we want from Him is what? A plot of paradise. And that's all we want from Him. Or we want the kingdom of Suleiman. If Suleiman were to have asked for the whole solar system, God would have given it to him. If he would have asked for the whole galaxy, he would have given it to him. But why ask God for the kingdom of Suleiman, or the solar system, or the Milky Way, or the whole of universe, when we are not the body or the bodily? God says, come to me and create the universe at will. So the root of the problem is our identification with the body and the false identity in which we preside. And it is so persuasive that even at death we don't leave it, and we yearn for it beyond death in the form of paradise. Obviously, I'm not saying let's not go to paradise. It's far better than that hot place. But we are worthy of far more than paradise. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let us reflect into the nature of our identities. Are we indeed what we assume ourselves to be, of ethnicities, genders, and religions?